In part one of how to invest in real estate, we talked about the first four things that you need to know to successfully invest in real estate. These are the same things, these are the same ideas that helped me buy a six-door apartment at age 27, even if I was just an ordinary employee with an average salary, lots of credit card debt, and salary loans. So I will leave a link in the description below and in the comment section below, and I strongly recommend that you watch part one. And now we continue to point number five. The next thing that you need to know is you need to know where to buy. Now, we already said now you need to know where to invest, the location, but there are also considerations on where to buy because you can buy from developers. There are developers big and small. Now, we know you probably know some of them. There are very popular developers out there. But since they are not sponsors of this channel, I will not mention them. Anyway, if you no, if you're watching, you're representing. I know I'm looking for sponsors. Woohoo! All right, but then they're not the only. They're not the only sources of properties to buy because you can also buy from other sources. Like you can buy from banks, you can buy foreclosed properties. There may be good deals out there. The cool thing with banks is that some of these properties may be undervalued, right? It depends on the bank. Well, considering what we're going through right now. Some of the banks, there may be banks that are struggling and they may have a high ratio of non-performing assets and they need to offload these non-performing assets. And what happens is they would usually discount their property prices. So it makes sense that before you buy from a developer, before you buy a brand new property, why not consider foreclosed properties? Another source where you could buy is from the owners themselves, from the resale market. There are amateur sellers out there, and there are also professional sellers out there. The professionals are those that buy and sell properties for a living. So you want to make sure to get the best deal, you'd want to deal with the amateurs. Okay, now I know that you're an amateur. You're watching this probably. No, I don't know what your status in life is, but if you are an investor, you want to get you want to get the most profit or at least the most bang for your money, then you'd want to deal with people who are not in the business of making money in real estate. You'd want to deal with people who are willing to let go of their properties at a reasonable price or even at a very low price. So don't discount dealing with owners, dealing directly with people who already own properties in established neighborhoods. You already know what to expect. You can already ask a lot of questions. There are You don't need to wonder what will happen in the future because it's already there. So don't discount buying from other owners as well. Okay. You can also buy from the government, right? There are government agencies that lend, like Pag-ibig. Pag-ibig has a lot of foreclosed properties, but also you can buy from local governments, right? People that don't pay their property taxes, sometimes those will be auctioned off by the government, and that will be a great opportunity for you, to buy properties at way below market value prices. Okay. Next source are what we call special purpose asset vehicles. Now, the SPAV law has actually already expired, so there will be no new SPAVs that will come up. But there is already a newly signed law, the FIST law, that was just newly signed, and this is similar to the SPAV law. And what happens here is the banks will be allowed to sell their non-performing assets, their real estate, their foreclosed properties. They'll be allowed to sell all of those in bulk. They will sell those discounted, to big investors, big players, and these big investors and players will also turn around and sell them, of course, at a profit, but usually some of these PAVs will still sell below market value because they'll be able to get they probably get it at 90%, 80% discount. So for them to sell it at 50% below market value, they will still make a profit. All right. So make sure that you stay tuned on any new spabs that will be formed, in the future. And then you can also definitely buy from brokers or agents. Now, brokers or agents don't own the properties, but they represent many owners. Maybe they represent developers, they represent banks, or they represent owners themselves. So definitely they will be a source of properties to buy. So you have a lot of sources. Investigate all of these sources in your target area. So investigate all of the sources near you. All right, so I hope that makes sense. And we're going to move on to our next point. But before we go to our next point, I forgot to mention a very important detail. I was too busy lobbying for sponsors. So when you buy from a developer, make sure that you buy from a reputable developer, someone that has a reputation, a good track record of delivering great properties, great communities. There are no perfect developers, but there are developers that have a track record of building bad development. So you don't want to buy from them because if you do, you will be stuck with a property that you will not be able to resell at a higher price. So it's important. Now, it may be a little bit more expensive to buy from established, great developers, those who have a good reputation already, but that extra investment will go a long way in the future. So you have to think long term because in the future, when you want to resell your property, you want to be able to resell it at a higher price. And that only happens if if you bought in a place with a great community with great developments. So moving on to point number 6, you need to know how to pay for it. You need to know how you're going to pay for your investment. And there really is a very simple formula for paying for property. So the total price of the property that you're going to acquire will be paid by a down payment plus a financing option. Now, for some people, for those blessed few who have the resources, they won't need financing. They are able to buy properties in cash. If you are at that level, then you can probably skip this point already. But even if you're at that level, you may still want to stick around because if you're able to buy properties in cash, if you're able to buy single properties in cash, then you may want to use financing so that you can buy multiple properties. And when you're able to buy multiple properties, you will be able to massively grow your portfolio quickly and you'll be able to grow your real estate empire much faster using leverage. If you remember, one of the advantages of real estate, you can use leverage to expand your portfolio quickly. So going back, the formula, very, very simple formula for paying for property is price is equal to down payment plus financing. That's the formula for most people. And for like if you're buying from a developer, there are a lot of down payment options. I won't be going through all of them, but I just mentioned it here to give you this assurance that even if you are not making a lot of money right now, there are actually developers that give you easy payment schemes. So for example, if you buy early enough on a development that will be turned over 4 years, 5 years from now. So there are developments like that. Now you can buy in early at a low price, and the down payment will be stretched for 4 years or 5 years. So that makes it easier for you. Now you can acquire properties for as low as 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, depending on the development. Again, it's better to look for actual developments near you, look for the down payment options. Ask around what are the options for you. Um, with some banks, sometimes some of them uh, don't have these down payment options, but again, we have a very difficult environment. Some of them may be open to negotiation. Remember, everything is negotiable in real estate. So you may be able to negotiate the down payment options. Maybe you can stretch it for 3 months, 6 months at least, so that it makes it easier for you to come up with the cash, to pay for the down payment. So just be aware that you negotiate the down payment with any seller. It's up to them to agree to it anyway. All right. Then there are also a lot of financing options as well. Okay. You can you can get a loan from Pag-ibig. So that is a government organization. If you don't know that yet, if you are from outside the Philippines, then Pag-ibig is a government institution that gives housing loans for Filipinos. Maybe if you're not a Filipino citizen, check out in your country what is the financing option in your own government. But governments provide financing. Banks, like I mentioned earlier, they provide financing. Developers also provide in-house financing. That's called seller financing. If you can't qualify for a bank loan or you can't qualify for a Pag-ibig loan, you still have the option of getting seller financing as well. So there are other financing options, but I won't be discussing those already because this video has been very long already. So I just want to keep it moving. But if that's something that you'd like to learn more of, then let me know in the comment section below. Okay? So, point number 7, you need to know you need to know other expenses because there are other expenses involved, not just the price of the property. Some people get surprised, oh, why our agreement is for 2 million, 3 million. What are these other expenses? Where there are other expenses involved in buying property. Like number one is capital gains tax. Now the BIR, the National Tax Agency, collects a capital gains tax. If you're buying from a developer, this is usually called withholding tax, either creditable withholding tax or expanded withholding tax. But it's also 6% unless it's a low cost property where it can be lower than 6%. Okay. So usually, it's the seller that pays for this, but sometimes the seller passes this on, or the developer passes this on to you, the buyer. So you just need to be aware that there is that added expense. Then the BAR also collects a documentary stamps tax. This is a tax that is collected on a lot of legal documents, not just deeds of sale. So it's 1.5% for a deed of sale in real estate. Then the local government also collects a tax. So the CGT and the DST, this is collected by the BIR, the national agency, but the city treasurer, the municipal treasurer, they also collect a transfer tax, and this can go up to 0.825%. So it's much lower than the BIR taxes, but it's different in different cities. So you need to ask in your specific city how much is the transfer tax. Then the LRA, or the Register of Deeds, will also collect a registration fee. This is for the actual title transfer. When they transfer it to your name, they will collect registration fees as well. This is usually less than 1% only. Next up, if you're getting financing, the bank or Pag-ibig, they will also collect loan fees. This depends already on the different banks, so you just need to ask your particular lending institution what are the fees involved, in getting a loan. Then there are also legal fees, right? If you remember, there are contracts, there are deeds of sale that needs to be signed, and these deeds will need to be notarized. So you'll need to get a notary. And if your notary is charging 1% of the property value, that is too high because you just look for another attorney to notarize. You can get it for a very, very low fee. Okay? Next is renovation. If you're buying from the developer, you need to make sure what is the finishing, what is the finish, what is the turnover condition, because there are people that get surprised that they can't move in because it's not in a livable condition. They still need to finish the flooring. There are no tiles, there is no ceiling, there are no lights. So you need to know what is the turnover condition so that you can prepare for renovation. All right. And if you're buying a used property, a property that someone has already lived in, then you may want to check the condition because if you plan to live there, you may want to renovate it according to your tastes, or if you plan to resell it, you'd want to update it so that you can resell it at the highest value. Next up, you also need to pay utility fees. Again, if this is a new development, you'll need to sign up for, the power companies. You need to sign up for the water companies, phone companies, internet service providers. So all of these utilities, you need to sign up for them, and they will have their own connection fees. It differs. It differs with the different utility companies. You just need to do your own research as well. Next up, if you're inside a condo or a subdivision, you will need to pay an association fee on a regular basis. If it's a condo, usually the fees are higher compared to a subdivision. And then finally, if you're not inside any of these, you'll still need to pay a property tax. So if you're in a condo or a subdivision, you need to pay property tax as well. It's just making it clear. All properties will need to pay taxes to the government on a yearly basis. Otherwise, the local government will seize your property and sell it to another investor who will pay for your property arrears. Okay, so uh, those are the 7 things that you need to know. But I have a bonus for you. If you stayed all the way up to this point, let me give you 2 bonus points. Okay, bonus point number 8, you need to know how to profit. Obviously, the topic is how to invest in real estate. So you need to know how are you going to profit from the property. And the first way to profit is to use the property. Enjoy the fruits. You can use it as your home, right? You don't need to pay rent anymore. Obviously, if you're staying with your parents, that's much better. You can enjoy the other ways to profit. But if you've been renting for 5, 10, 15 years, maybe it's time that those rental payments, go to you. Go to saving up, your or going from an expense into saving up into an asset that you own. Or if you bought an agricultural piece of land, then you can enjoy the literal fruits, right? You can plant mango trees or calamansi or whatever, apples, and enjoy the literal fruits. You can eat it or you can sell it for a profit. Then obviously you can also sell, right? You buy at a low price, improve the property, do something with it, increase the value, and then sell it for a higher price. You can also rent it out. Now, we talked about this before. If you know your purpose, then definitely, renting it out is the way to profit from it. But you can also convert the property. Not a lot of people know this, but say if you own agricultural property, but that property is in the path of progress. So remember, now we discussed about the path of progress. Now you now see malls being built where there were just fields before. There's going to be a transformation, and you're going to profit from the conversion of the use of the property. Or maybe it was residential before, but because there are more and more people moving in there, now your property becomes a commercial property. So you can profit a lot more by converting the property to its highest and best use. And the cool thing is you can actually combine the ways, especially if it's a big enough property, you can combine the benefits, right? You can build, say, a four-door apartment, live in one apartment, no, sell 2 units, and then rent one. So definitely you can use a combination of these profit making methods. So that is bonus point number 8. But the most important bonus that I will leave you, the most important thing that you need to know is this. Okay. The most important thing that you need to know is that you you are the most important factor in the success of your investment. So, actually, whether that's real estate or stocks or cryptocurrency, it's not the investment, but it's you. So, your knowledge, your creativity, your perseverance, your hustle, that is what's going to dictate if you're successful in your investing or not. So, invest in yourself, invest in your knowledge, invest in becoming a better investor. And the Dealmaker channel is committed to helping you become a better investor. So make sure if you liked what you have consumed so far. If you like what you've heard in this epic video, epically long video, make sure to like the button, right? Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. That helps YouTube share this to more people. You can also share this yourself, to friends, to family who are thinking of investing in real estate, but they're not quite sure, what they're getting into. Maybe share this so that they can have a better idea of how to succeed in real estate. So let's do a quick review of the 8 points that we have covered in this video. So, the 8 things that you need to know before you invest in real estate. Number one, you need to know your purpose for investing. Number two, you need to know the advantages of real estate so you'll know how to maximize your investment. You need to know the resources that you have. So, even if you have little resources, you can still get started investing in real estate. And then you need to know where to invest, right? Invest in a location near you. Where specifically, you need to know that. And you need to know where to buy. Are you going to buy from a developer, from a bank, no, from an owner, or from a broker? So you need to know all of these things. Get to know all of the those sellers near you. And you need to know how you're going to pay for it. I shared a simple formula that guides all real estate transactions. And you need to know the other expenses involved so you will not be surprised. You can plan for it. And then the eighth thing is you need to know how to profit. How do you make money from your investment? But again, the most important thing that you need to know is that the investor, the deal maker, you are the most important, factor in your success in real estate investing. Now, it's important that after consuming this epically long video, it's important to at least put one thing into action. So please comment below. What are you going to do right after, watching this video? Are you going to figure out the resources that you have and see, how much you can buy, or how much resources that you have, or do you have any connections, that you can lean on for your future purchases? Are you going to investigate the locations near you? Are you going to check out where the developments are, in the locations near you? Or are you going to check out different sellers to see what are they offering? Are you going to check out developers, banks, brokers, and agents in the area to see what's available? So let me know in the comment section below, what is the first thing that you're going to do, out of the 8 things that I shared with you today. Make sure to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Uh, Smashing the like button helps YouTube share this to more people. You can also share this, to your friends and family members who are thinking of investing in real estate. And make sure to subscribe to watch more videos like this. I talk about real estate investing, and not just real estate, but also making deals in the global stock market and making online side hustles. If you want more real estate topics, check out the real estate investing playlist. And remember, it's always a great day to make deals, and may all of your deals push through. See you on the next video.